everyone. This video is going to be a little different today. It's going to be something that I've been called to do for a little while and just haven't done it yet because of the potential energy that it might take. But today is feeling like a good day to do this, especially after I've had a bit of a rejuvenating weekend. And I am going to work on channeling some messages through from our ancestors or my ancestors. So I, of course, picked angels and ancestors to help with this conversation, as well as traditional Rider-Waite tarot. And I'm going to do my best to channel some messages through from our ancestors. So let's go ahead and pull an oracle card first while I was resetting my energy. And as I was clearing the space and inviting in those who are here to help heal the collective and removing any dense and lower vibrations that are not here to serve the collective. Towards the end, what I felt and experienced was like a crowd of people. So it almost felt like some of those scenes in like movies and stuff where people are trying to board onto a train and there's just like hordes and hordes of people and bodies. And it was like crowding, almost like there's just so much energy that is wanting to come forth and share messages, that it just felt like a lot of people trying to get through like one narrow door, so to speak. So let's just, I'm gonna just start with that visual that came through, and then we're gonna pull some tarot and see what our overall theme of today's message is going to surround. Okay, I love this. The guardian angel, you are not alone. So there may be a lot of heaviness that a lot of us are feeling because of what is happening, and repeating history in many ways, but it has also evolved in many other ways. So although we have these past experiences, and right now I'm actually feeling like heaviness of breath, like it's really hard to communicate these things. I feel like that is also something of I'm sure other oppressed communities as well, and I'm feeling this real heaviness of breath. One, it feels almost as if it's like there's so much to say and not enough breath to be able to say it fast enough. It's really interesting when I feel physically the energies, and like it feels like a lot of heaviness in the heart space, and it's hard to breathe and hard to speak. Like I just want to like keep gasping for air. So I don't know if that also means like in these spaces there were so many people packed in that maybe it was actually physically hard to breathe, and perhaps in other ways it was just like there was maybe a lot of movement happening too, like running and rushing and hurrying, and so maybe it's like out of breath from that physical activity. But this is saying you are not alone, and I'm seeing like a trinity of this like third eye or psychic eye. We have, let's see, the moon, and then we have the sun. And so it's like this holy trinity type figure we see here, with the white feathers often signifying guardian angels. So as we are in this, I don't necessarily want to call it fight for humanity or fight for our lives, but it kind of has that energy to it. And I feel like there is a lot of hope that has been lost, and like there's a lot of tired energy of like, how much more can we do this? Like, do we really have a chance? Is there really change that is going to happen? Like, are my efforts for nothing? Like, what is going to come of this? So it feels like this like defeated energy, and so our ancestors are here to remind us that we are not alone, and they are here supporting us and doing what they can. And so we're going to use tarot to actually dive a little bit deeper into what these messages are meant to be. But I'm feeling a lot of this like balance, this full circle, and it's almost like we need to like be able to zoom out to be able to see the bigger picture. And because we're kind of like in it, this is where we can feel that like heaviness and difficulty speaking, or feeling like our voices aren't heard even if we are saying words. So there's a lot of this like suppression feeling, and thankfully that energy has passed, but it was very heavy. And so we're gonna go on to some tarot to get the next messages. So what do you want to share with us? What do we need to know? Okay. Both of these came in the reverse, and we have the Queen of Swords. And next we have the Three of Pentacles. I'm going to pull one more. These cards are coming out real fast. Three of Swords. Okay. Whew. So, another card of heaviness. This one is more in terms of like really deep pain and grieving, and we literally have these like, I'm seeing these as tears, and these swords, which can also be words and thoughts and things of that nature, that have been really harsh and have caused a lot of pain. We are on the healing journey, but we have not necessarily gotten to the part where the healing can occur. We're in the recognition phase. We're in the revealing the situation phase. And this, I feel like there has been a lack of being able to lead with that balance. A lot of this masculine energy has kind of been at the forefront, and so there's an imbalance with that feminine power. And there has been a lack of efforts of actually being able to work together and come together and collaborate for collective power. And I feel like this is kind of like background information, and then we're gonna again get a little bit deeper here. So let's tap back into this energy here. Really interesting. As I was going to shuffle 3 times in a row, all 3 cards that came out right now, I went like this to flip it or to shuffle, and the center card flipped every single time like that. I feel like this is also a message. 9 of Swords. We'll call this almost like a bottom deck energy, but I'm going to put that back. Whew. Okay, so again, I'm reading this backwards. So the foundation of it, again, we have these swords, and the nature of the 5 of Swords is a winning at all costs. It feels like a very egoic card, balanced out by, again, we have these synchronicities happening. The Page of Cups came in the center, and this was in the reverse. And then we have this 6 of Pentacles coming out in the reverse as well as the first card that popped out. So, this feels like there is inequality, and there is a lot of fear-based energy that is happening that I feel is contributing to this lack of being able to work together. There's a lot of pain that is beneath the surface that is kind of helping to cause this division. And when we hear the whispers of our emotions or our intuition or our guides, our ancestors, again, whatever it is that you believe in, it's like we're not hearing it, or we're not hearing it for what it is, because it's clouded by all these things that have been taught to us, that have been said to us all of our lives, all these painful moments. And so we are actually, and it's interesting because I was just posting some new videos onto my website, and it's the using of Legos to describe the 4 types or the 4 levels of oppression or something like that, where at the very bottom we have ideological, institutional, interpersonal or intrapersonal, and then internalized oppression, and that all 4 of these systems work together. So again, we're kind of talking about the incarcerations from the 40s that happened to Japanese and Japanese Americans, including my family and my ancestors. And a lot of this pain and distrust has been passed along the lines, and I've believed this for the longest time, that those of us in this current generation are here to start changing the tides. And then we have the younger generations like Gen Z and younger, who are these kind of more enlightened beings that, you know, we're paving the way for. So we have kind of that millennial Gen X generation that is, I believe, here to kind of be the so-called black sheep of the families, who are here to disrupt the current ancestral cycles, karmic cycles that have been passed down. So there are a lot of us who are here for that. And we are here to help pave the way for the younger generations to be able to get their foot in. And, you know, we're playing a supportive role to that. And so what's happening is we are meant to help start to break down some of these concepts and these barriers, and learn from each other and start reconnecting with our intuition. And that way we can make sure that we're not acting from reactive places, from our woundings, from our past hurts, from our past traumatic experiences. So that is really what is blocking us from coming together. And they are here to share this message with us, that this is why it is so important for that inner healing. That healing work is how we get this Three of Swords to be in the reverse, so that we can just see them fall out. And it's only when those swords have fallen out that the holes can start to mend themselves over time. So that whole idea of time heals all wounds, that concept only works when the tools or the weapons or whatever it is no longer in there causing that wound. So it's kind of a two-step process. So what we need to do is really start to identify those situations where we were hurt, or we were taught to believe a certain thing, or we were told we weren't good enough, or our own self-confidence or our woundings we were hurt, basically. And so when we can heal those, then we will be able to start coming together. And so these healing spaces are really important, but we still have to be mindful. And because this power and control has been so indoctrinated within our systems, even if you have the greatest of intentions, if you're not constantly checking yourself and observing your environments and checking in with others as well, it can be really easy to find yourself in that same situation, which I feel like I've seen more than enough stories of all of this happening within the nonprofit spaces, because you can't just call yourself a nonprofit and function exactly like a corporation under a different guise and then say you are incapable of causing harm. So it's just really important that we are all kind of taking responsibility and accountability for our own healing. And that way, when we are self-reflecting as well, we can take accountability where it's needed. We can start to differentiate between when we are being projected onto, or when others' wounds and their unhealed experiences are kind of impacting us. And that can be one of our greatest shields. I have a short piece that I had written, and I spoke it out, so I'll probably post that as well. But I think that kind of talks about this a little bit more. But our ancestors are really encouraging us to do this healing work and to move towards the discomfort and to start deconstructing our belief systems, what we learned, and whether or not that is true, to start questioning the things that we believe, and to really start doing that work so that we can come together as a collective. And again, knowing that we're supported on this journey and that we are not alone. We have our guides and our angels and our support systems, whether or not we can actually physically see them with our eyes. that are here supporting us along the way, and they want this for us. They want us to be able to come together and to feel joy again, and to feel love, and to understand what it feels like to be supported, and what all of these things truly mean, and not what we were just taught that they mean. Because remember, even the way that we grew up has defined how we experience and believe love is or should be. And that's why so many of us have found ourselves in abusive or toxic environments, because we were taught that that's normal. So everything that we knew has an opportunity to be deconstructed and to be assigned new meanings by ourselves and our own understanding, our own exploration, and really getting to take our power back, because as I've learned in my human design certification course, the meanings that we assign to things are really what defines our reality and what defines what we have manifested in our physical reality. But I hope this message was helpful. I didn't really know what to expect, but I think it makes a lot of sense as far as where we start first. And so we are not alone on these healing journeys. And as we do our healing and take accountability for our own healing, we are going to be contributing to the collective. So take care, everyone.